experience with youth football or coaching?
Very little, unfortunately, very, very little. Almost nothing, I would say. I had, when I was a player, I had a junior team in the club, but no, not really, not really.
Are you familiar with career coaching, and what are your experience with it?
No, not really. I am. Is that from?
We were talking about.
Yeah, Holland.
Yeah.
And that's about technique, or? Yeah. As I told you before, no, I'm not familiar with it. But the technique is so important in today's football. And when the ball comes to you as a player, the first touch you have is vital for what you shall do the next step. If you have a good first touch, everything is easy. You have time to look up, see what shall I do. But if you have a bad first touch, it's difficult, because then you have to chase the ball maybe, and you have to touch it again, and then everything is too late, and you lose it probably. Technique, 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 and the first touch in football today. That's why when you see football on high level, and really high level, the first touch the players have today, it's amazing, and the technique and the speed. But speed is very difficult to train, but speed is also very important, the pace.
You have to born with this.
Yeah, I had a friend, Arsene Wenger, you know who that is. He had Arsenal for many, many, many years. And yeah, we became friends, so we had many dinners together and things like that. And when he looked at players, young players, taking to the academy in Arsenal, he looked for the technique a little bit, but he looked for pace. If it were really slow players, he said, don't take them, not even to the academy. We don't want them. Pace and technique. And that was his football, if you remember. He was one of the first in England who started to play the ball, not all the time long balls. And when he bought players, pace, Henry and players like that, all of them, Walcott, pace, pace, pace.
So, first question was then, what is the most important moment when you start coaching a new team? What is the first thing you do when you start coaching?
Oh, I think you have to present yourself, of course, and you have to put up some rules. And by saying that, it shall not be 100 different rules. It shall be very few, and use your common sense. And never put a rule which you cannot follow and control, because that's stupid. If you put a rule, you have to be sure that you can control it, and that you know that it's common sense for the players to follow that. Then, when you get a team, I think you have to speak to them a lot about how to behave in a group. Because the most important thing you as a coach have to do is to create a good atmosphere in the team. Not only in the team, in the whole squad. Because if you have that, you can play bad games and you will survive as a group, as a coach. But if you have a bad atmosphere and you start to lose games, then it's finished. You will never come back as a coach, and you will never come back as a team. But if you have created good atmosphere, then you have a much bigger chance to turn the bad times to better times. Because remember, in football, you will always have those bad times. Even if you will be the coach of Barcelona, that will happen. Then it's to turn it around as quick as possible. And when I'm saying create good atmosphere, it's one word in life and that's not only in football, that's in life in total. That's respect. You have to respect people. You have to respect your teammates. You have to respect me. But I have to respect you as well. Even if you play every game or you don't almost play at all, I respect you for what you are as a human being. You have to respect the leaders we have in the club, the chairman, the owner, but all the directors. You have to respect the lady cleaning the dressing room for us, because without her, it will be shit in the morning, and you don't want that. The kit man, extremely important. You respect him. You don't make jokes with him. You respect him for what he's doing for us. And if your name is Messi, or if it's one never playing for Barcelona, but he's training with them, it's the same. Keep them on the same level and respect people. And if you respect them, they will always respect you. And then you have a good group. And when you have a good group, you can feel it and you can touch it. Then it's your team. They will run for you. They will work for you. They will do everything for you as a coach. And they will do it for each other. I will run for you. If you have problems, I will help you. I will not saying, well, why didn't you pass the ball? Blah, 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 blah. No, I help you. So that's extremely important as a new coach for whatever team it is. The best in the world or youth team. Create a good atmosphere and life is good.
Style of coaching you preferred? You let your assistant coaches to manage everything and you just watched, or you had to control everything in the match or in the training?
Well, when I started my career as a coach, I did everything. I even put tape on the foot of the players, because at that time we didn't have a doctor, we didn't have a physio. I had an assistant who took care of the goalkeepers warming up, all the other things I did. But by time, professional football, getting more and more people in as coaches or experts. I always doing the tactical job, still, when I have a job, or the last job I had. All tactical job I'm doing. Then I let the assistant do a lot of other things. Many times the fitness coach doing the warm-up, or the assistants doing the warm-up. And then if you have finishing, things like that, I do it and the assistant coach. But the tactical work, if it's to train the back line or put out the ball to the right back, what we do now, what's happening up here, movements and things, I do that. And I like that. So in England, it's a special country. You have, they don't say the coach, they say the manager. And the manager, there you can have Ferguson. He never went out on the pitch doing something. Never, very seldom. But he controlled everything. But he didn't do it. Then you have Arsene Wenger, the same thing, but he did everything on the pitch. He loved to be in the pitch, in the middle of the players. So very, but I think if you are on the pitch or not, you control what's happening in your club. You control what the players are doing, what we want to be better on, and so on. But for me, to do the tactical work, yeah. The rest I can control, I can see. So I think I'm like most coaches. It's very easy to win. You are happy, you do everything. It's very difficult to lose. And I know that I'm not very social when I'm losing games. But you have to tell yourself, hey, and that's better to be in a club, because if you lose Saturday, you have a next game Saturday. or Wednesday. If you're in a national team, it can take 2 months before you have the next game. And if you lose there, and you have to wait 2 months to talk to the players. And when they come after 2 months, they have forgot the game they played. So that's more difficult. No, I'm a bad loser. But, yeah. But you have to know that you're going to lose. Of course you're going to lose. And many times when we lose football games, we listen too much to other people, because if you take the media, for example, the press, they are specialists, they are all the best coaches in the world after the game, never before, always after. And it's very easy to be a good coach after the game. So the bad thing you can do when you lose a game is to listen to too many people, and that you think too much that we lost because of that, because of that, because of that. Then you will get crazy. Try to analyze the match. We lost because tum tum, and we must play better. We must do this and this better next Saturday. Don't take in 100 things, because that will not work. Well, many things is different today, are different today. If you look at the football on the pitch, so it's better pace today. Everything is quicker. The football is more aggressive when you defend. The technique is better. Once I can do some examples. Many years ago, the two center halves, many years ago, they were big, they were strong, and they could defend. Playing football, no, not really. Passing the ball, no, they didn't even try. But everything coming there, boom, they took everything. Today, to be a central defender, you have to have good feet as well. And that has changed enormously. 1982, I won the UEFA Cup, which is like European League, with a Swedish team called Gothenburg, IFK Gothenburg. We beat Hamburg, which at that year, the same year, the week after, we beat them in the final, 3-0 away in Hamburg. They won the German league. And we were not professional. I had a plumber in the team who took half a day off when we played home, the final and semi-final UEFA Cup. No professional. But we were aggressive. We played 4-4-2 and team short, offside, and pressing. And we won. We played 12 games, Valencia, Kaiserslautern, Hamburg. We won every game. And they always came to see us before. And they said, well, they are not good football players. Because they didn't understand that when they meet us, they will not have time to do what they normally do in the Spanish league and in the German league. Because at that time, football was not aggressive, defending. The teams who lost the ball, they went home waiting, doing nothing. They went home. Today, as you see, if you are Barcelona, whatever the team, they lose the ball, boom, they are there. And we did that in 1982, and we won, which was out of this world. So that has changed. What we were paid very well in points, in results, 1982, that will not give you 1 point today, because all the teams are the same. Very aggressive. Then media is huge different from what it was 1982. 1982, when we went playing away, we took all the media with us in the same bus. They lived in the same hotel. And if something happened after the game, two players went out drinking or whatever happened, in football. They will never write that. Never, ever. Today it's impossible. You don't travel with the media today. If something small happened, that will be a scandal, especially in Italy, in England and Spain, where they're waiting for criticize a good player and things like that. So that has changed enormously. Television, of course. So it's a lot of things changed, but it's still technique, first touch. Youth players, as many touches on the ball as possible in every training session. Don't put up 10 players in a row and they shooting session and they will shoot one shot every second minute. No, that's not good football training.